Welcome outside Gillette Stadium, everybody. My name is Mike Petraglia, joined by Ryan Hannable, Patriots contributor for WEEI.com. Ryan, the big news of the day, Tom Brady finally broke his silence and spoke to reporters, about 25 reporters and photographers inside the locker room, right in front of his locker stall at Gillette Stadium. First time he's spoken since Deflategate. The verdict came down from Judge Berman vacating his 4-game suspension. I don't know about you, Ryan. You were in the room. I was in the room. I sensed really a sense of sincere reflection on behalf of Tom Brady. Your thoughts on what he had to say and how he addressed the reporters for the first time?
He was very calm, demeanored. He didn't really address the matter. He didn't, flat out deny that he did anything wrong. He was, like you said, he's very sincere with his answers. I thought that the biggest question, I think, was the question about Jim McNally and John Jastrzemski, and he seemed very sincere about his, feeling bad for both them themselves, but also their families. So I think that was sort of the biggest question that I took. I think he had 9 total questions. But yeah, I think he was very sincere. That was my biggest takeaway.
It's CSN and he's Tom Curran asked the question about John Jastrzemski and Jim McNally. And to your point, Ryan, I thought he was very humble, and there was no "I told you so." He realized that there were some people really hurt in all of this, and those two gentlemen happen to be two of the guys that really had to take the fall, and we haven't heard from them, probably will not hear from them in the wake of everything that's happened over the last 9 months. But I also sense that Tom Brady is focused. He's ready to move on. There was a question asked of Brady as to whether or not this 9 months has taken a toll on him. Has he been able to get the kind of rest he will need to take on, the 4 or 5 month season, hopefully for the Patriots' sake, that is in front of him?
Yeah, I think that went into the whole thing about talking today. I mean, today's simulates a Wednesday leading into the game on Thursday, so he's all about his routine. I think that's why he talked today. I mean, there was some speculation. Would he talk yesterday? Would he talk today? Would he talk tomorrow? But today was a Wednesday. He usually talks on Wednesday during a normal week, so he's going along about his business like it is. It's on to the game and on to the season. So he's as business as usual right now. It's all about football. He's put this whole Deflategate stuff in the past, and he's focused on football. But yeah, like you talked about, it has taken a toll on him, and maybe his play in the preseason was indicative of this hanging over his head.
Right.
But now that it's passed and he gets his first stringers back with him, we could see a different Tom Brady on the field Thursday night.
I had a chance to ask Tom Brady, actually, the final question of the about 5-minute scrum in front of his locker, whether or not he appreciates playing any more now than he did 9 months ago after being through all of this. Did he ever take anything for granted? And he said, look, I've played this game for 20 years, and I'm just grateful that I get to do so again. I think really the theme of the day for Tom Brady was relief.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it goes along with putting this in the past and getting on to the actual games, because whether the team says it or not, this was clearly hanging over their heads. I mean, you are in there every single question, every single day is about Tom Brady and Deflategate. So I think now with him talking and getting it out of the way, and then now the game on Thursday night, they'll be able to sort of move on and get on with actual football.
Over the last couple of months, especially in the preseason, Aaron Rodgers of the Packers and, to a lesser extent, Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints gave their support wholeheartedly behind Tom Brady. Well, there was another guy to come to Brady's defense here on Sunday during a conference call, and that's the opposing quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. He said that he wasn't surprised at all that Tom Brady beat the rap in this case and is playing on Thursday night. He felt all along that the Commissioner Roger Goodell kind of overreached. And I thought, you know what, this is another way of an opposing quarterback reaching out, but in the same breath saying, look, we're all brothers. We all play in the National Football League. We all face the same risk, and I've got your back.
Yeah, I thought Roethlisberger was very honest in his answers. I think he talked for 8 minutes with us, probably about half the questions about Brady, and he talked about Tom's case, and like you said, he sort of felt that he would get off, and he also talked about how he wanted him to get off, and he might, being facing the Patriots week 1, he might not want Brady to be on the field, but he said he wants to go against the best. In order to be the best, you have to beat the best. Right. So he was happy that Brady's going to be able to play. And I think that just speaks to who Brandon Roethlisberger is as a quarterback, and also to your point that Brady does have support around the league.
All right, this is Sunday, a day after the roster deadline cuts of Saturday at 4 p.m. The biggest surprises to you, I got to speak for myself, and I thought maybe Logan Ryan might be on the bubble. Maybe Aaron Dobson may not make this roster. Maybe there'd be some tweaking along the defensive line. But in the end, Bill Belichick chose to keep 11 defensive linemen. He did keep Logan Ryan over the veteran Robert McClain in the secondary. And Aaron Dobson is on this roster. And there was some news breaking just a little while ago that it appears a former Patriot is now a current Patriot, but in a much different role, as Kembrell Tompkins has reportedly been signed to the Patriots practice squad.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the receiver position. You start with Reggie Wayne at the top. He reportedly asked for his release from the team, and Bill Belichick released a statement saying it was mutual. So you take him out of the equation. I think part of that's why Dobson's on the team. Is if you didn't have Reggie Wayne, then there was probably a chance that Dobson's not on the team. But then when you go into the regular season right now at wide receiver, you're really lacking depth. I think that's why Kembrell Tompkins was brought on. He has experience in the system. He was a guy that Tom Brady liked to throw to. So even though he's on the practice squad now, it wouldn't be a surprise to have him be on the 53-man roster either for Thursday's game or maybe week 2 against Buffalo.
And one more bit of a roster analysis. I think Michael Williams making this roster with his offensive line / tight end experience in that late preseason trade with the Detroit Lions really spelled doom for Cameron Fleming. It appears Cameron Fleming has been released.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think Fleming's sort of major role in the offensive line last year was sort of that extra tight end, and in those Drumbo sets when they had an extra tight end, he was that blocking guy, and he really didn't have a good preseason, I thought. So that trade for Michael Williams made it sort of easy for the team to get rid of Fleming. I mean, he was one of their picks last year, so it makes it a little hard to get rid of, but as you know, they go around here. If you're not performing, you're not on the team.
Brian Stork was at practice on Saturday, but was not spotted here on Sunday. You read anything into that at this point, or is it really too soon?
I mean, to me, if you look at like a normal week, today's Wednesday, and if a player doesn't practice on a Wednesday, that sort of indicates maybe they're not going to play in that game on Sunday. So, yeah, I think it's definitely a little bit, you got into it and say that maybe the Patriots might be without Brian Stork on Thursday night, which means that Ryan Wendell would shift over and play center, and we saw him play center Thursday night in the preseason finale against the Giants. So I think maybe him playing center had the Patriots knowing Stork's situation, so I think Wendell will be ready to go if needed.
All right, tomorrow is Labor Day, Monday. Patriots will practice again on Monday, Labor Day, and on Tuesday, the players' day off, or I should not say day off, but rather a walkthrough on Wednesday, and then the season opener here at Gillette Stadium against Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers Thursday night. It'll be an air of expectation, really, all week long, I think, Ryan, as the defending Super Bowl champions look to make it 2 in a row for the second time in franchise history. We'll be here at Gillette Stadium, bringing you all of the coverage on WEEI.com. Outside Gillette Stadium, he is Ryan Hannable. I'm Mike Petraglia, WEEI.com.